Hello, everyone, and welcome to your English topic. My name is Babette Craft, and I will be working with you with today's lesson. So we are looking at how to have more willpower. First, we will read through the entire part 1 passage. I'll be reading at native speed, and then we'll come back and look in detail at the highlighted words and phrases. So let's begin. How to have more willpower, part 1. How to have more willpower? I remember a couple of years ago, I used to get very little sleep, and I really struggled with making the right decisions. I'd be running on 4 hours of sleep. And when I was presented with something healthy to eat and an unhealthy choice, it was really hard for me to pick the healthy one. And now, a couple of years later, I get plenty of sleep. And it's so much easier to make the better decisions. So, whether you need to refrain from eating something unhealthy, or you need to actually do something productive, like working on your project, getting plenty of sleep will make it so much easier. And I can attest to this from my own experience. So the first big idea for strong willpower is to get adequate amounts of sleep. When you don't get enough sleep, you're prone to all kinds of stress and cravings and temptations. Research has shown that being sleep deprived is very similar to being mildly intoxicated, which is probably not the best time to be making decisions. And too little sleep has been shown to cause problems that mimic those associated with ADHD. So, getting enough sleep is absolutely one of the most important things you can do for your willpower. Now, just like you go to the gym to build muscle and get stronger, you can do the same thing for your brain. And the activity that trains your brain is meditation. It makes your brain grow denser, packing in more gray matter, just like a muscle bulking up from exercise. And research has shown that those who meditate really do have more gray matter in the prefrontal cortex. And the prefrontal cortex is the area associated with decision making and willpower. It's the part of the brain that gets you to say no to something unhealthy. And it's the part of the brain that gets you to get up and start working on your project. And the impact of meditation is fascinating. Even after only a few weeks of being consistent with it, we can already observe the brain structure physically changing. You don't need to meditate for hours either. Even a short period of meditation is effective. You can start with 5 minutes of meditation, focusing on your breath, and move up to 10, 15, or however long you like. But it's much better to be consistent and do only 5 minutes than be inconsistent. So I would personally highly recommend starting with 5 minutes if you are just starting out. Okay, now let's take a closer look here up at the top at these highlighted words and phrases. How to have more willpower. What does this mean, willpower? Well, let's take a look at our whiteboard. Willpower. Willpower is talking about self-control, particularly or especially in difficult situations. Make this a little bigger. So an example sentence could be, with a little more willpower, I could lose more weight. With a little more willpower, I could lose more weight. So it's often difficult to control ourselves in situations that involve delicious food or drinks, or difficult situations that involve a lot of effort, something like exercise. So being able to use self-control or willpower in these situations. With a little more willpower, I could lose more weight. I remember a couple of years ago, I used to get very little sleep. I used to. Let's look at this phrase. I used to. So this is a phrase that's in the past tense. It's talking about things or people or ways we used to do things. So something you did in the past, not now. So when I mentioned people, I meant someone you used to know. You can know someone in the past or something you used to do. Things you used to do in the past. Something you did in the past, but not now. So an example sentence. I used to get more exercise before I had children. Well, children do change our lives. I used to do a lot of things before children. So, let me move this for you. I used to get very little sleep in this phrase. So I'm going to move this a little more. I used to get very little sleep. So something I did in the past was I didn't sleep very well. I slept very little. Here, something in the past, I used to get more exercise. Probably I used to go out more. I used to have more money. All before I had children. All right, let's continue. And I really struggled with making the right decisions. This means to work hard on something, to fight. Put there, to fight with something or someone. Okay, so we can use this in two ways. It means the same thing. When you struggle with, the idea is that you're fighting with something or someone. Often the something is yourself. And you can have conflicts, you can have fight with things or other people outside of yourself. Just depends on the context. So here I really struggled with making the right decision. So this is an internal struggle. This is a struggle inside ourselves to do something healthy. Another way of using this, another example, I struggled with high student loans for many years. So this is something outside ourselves. This is something we fighting with outside of ourselves, is fighting to pay or struggling to pay loans for many years. So it's working very hard on something or working very hard against someone. If I'm struggling to get along with a coworker, I'm fighting with them. And I'm fighting with myself to get along with them. So here's some examples. In our essay, we're trying to make the right decisions, and it's a hard fight. I'd be running on 4 hours of sleep. I'd be running on 4 hours of sleep. This is a fun phrase here. Running on. running on 4 hours of sleep. So what does running on mean? Running on means to endure. Continue with the help of something. Okay, so let's look at the first meaning. All right, you have this idea of enduring. Okay, so a sentence that relates to this meaning of endure. I'm only running on a couple hours of sleep. Couple hours of sleep. So I'm enduring, I'm surviving, I'm getting by on only a few hours of sleep. I think many of us hardworking people have suffered this issue. And then to continue with the help of something, continue with the help of these days, many cars are running on battery power instead of gas. Okay, these days, many cars are running on battery power instead of gas. So they are continuing, they're going forward with the help of battery power and not gas. I am enduring, I'm only running on a couple hours of sleep. So some of us who are very tired, sometimes we are running on coffee alone. We are continuing with the help of coffee when we have not slept. So I'm running on 4 hours of sleep. The next one. When I was presented with something healthy to eat. We'll say presented with. What does this phrase mean? So this means to be shown or given something, to be presented with, to be shown something. A sentence, I was presented with a few different investment options. Okay, move this up for you. Presented with, to be shown or given something. I was presented with a few different investment options. Here, I was given something to eat. If I was shown or given something to eat that was healthy, maybe I didn't want it. I didn't want to choose the salad. I wanted the pizza. Okay, and finally, I get plenty of sleep. So looking at this key phrase, get. What does this mean? So get focuses on receiving something. So it means to receive. To receive, to take something, to understand something or someone. All right, so it has a lot of meanings here. Let's look at the different meanings, and then we'll look at what it means, of course, in this passage. To receive, to take something, to understand something or someone. All right, so first, receive. I get a lot of compliments on my flower garden. Okay, so here I am receiving, I am getting, same meaning. What am I getting? Compliments. Compliments, which are nice things. People are saying many nice things. They're giving me words that are nice about or on my flower garden. That's receive. Then let's look at understand. She gets my sense. She gets my sense of humor. Okay, so she understands. Here's gets. She understands my sense of humor. Basically, she thinks I'm funny. She thinks I'm funny. She understands why I'm funny or the funny things I say. So just to point out a quick difference. So get here is first person. I get. Gets, of course, is second here. She gets, he gets, I get. So we receive things. We also understand something or someone. And sometimes we take something. So in this case, you could say this is like taking something. Taking sleep. I get plenty of sleep. What does this mean? What is this writer trying to tell us altogether? So the writer here, of course, they're trying to explain to us this topic of willpower. And they begin the discussion by bringing up their own experiences. So originally, this person had difficulty sleeping, and they had difficulty making healthy choices. But now, hopefully, it's different, right? So before, they struggled. See lots of past tense here. I used to get very little sleep. I would be running on empty. When I was presented, all past tense, I couldn't make a healthy choice. But now, present, I get plenty of sleep. These are how things have changed for the writer. Okay, let's continue to the next line. So whether you need to refrain from eating something unhealthy. What does this phrase mean? Refrain from eating something unhealthy. Okay. Refrain from. And I will move this a little higher for you